Good day everyone, I'm John Den Partible from Lorma Colleges, and today I'm going to interview about ethics and moral from church, from school, and one from the industry.
Hi, my name is Father Brian Pulido. I'm the Assistant Parish Priest of St. Christopher Parish here in Bangar, La Union.
So, good afternoon, Father.
Yes.
I'm John Den Partible from Lorma Colleges, biomedical equipment servicing student. So, my first question is, what is the role of the church related to morality?
The role of the church related to morality. Morality takes on a very broad viewpoint. It's not just saying do good and do bad and avoid evil. It's more of of the consciously part effort. And if you look at it, the church there is also playing a part on a role wherein we try our best to in a sense teach what our Lord Jesus Christ was telling us of doing good and to avoid evil at all costs. And that's where morality, that's where the church comes in, as a matter of fact. So it's not just saying, oh, ito, gawin mo ito, avoid all these things so that you can go to heaven. No, it's more of what can you do good, and not only do good, but also helping others as well. That's also part of doing good, and that's where the church comes in.
Next question, what is your code of ethics as a priest?
Code of ethics, as I said in the first answer I give, if we follow what the church teaches, generally of doing good, avoiding evil, that's part of morality and on human scale. But as a Christian, we do more than just following rules and regulations. We try our best to do more of helping out each other, laying out a fraternal concern for one another, and that is what I think more of a responsibility given to priests. Priests not only a priest as a shepherd, a pastor takes care of the flock, which is the people of God. So when we talk about what's the ethic point or standpoint or code of what a priest does, it's more not only of following morality, of doing good, avoiding evil. We also have a genuine concern for people around us, especially to those who we have a responsibility to take care for.
So, what is the Christian's ethics?
Well, as Christian ethics is ethics. Ethics is more of a, as I said, that's a dictum that we take on regards to morality, on how do we supposed to act, not only on ourselves but to others as well. Trying to do good and avoid evil, but also taking it from the Christian standpoint of what, as usual, what we would say in parlance in Catholicity, what would Jesus do? Parang ganon. Ano kaya gagawin yung ating Panginoon sa ganitong sitwasyon? And that's where the Christian ethics comes in. That's where you would ask yourself, yes, I'm trying to be a good person, but I'm more and more concerned of doing it in the Christian point of view, in the Christian way. That is more of having concern, of having more of showing more kindness to others, etc., etc.
So, as a priest, what are the two or three of the hardest things you are facing?
This is a general question actually. What am I facing now personally, or what am I facing now as personally as a priest, or on the work side of you, on the ethical side of you, on the morality side of you? I think personally, as for me, there's also struggles. You know, there are certain struggles in my life as well, but I try to do my best to do what God has given me, God has given me this responsibility for. But in regards to being a pastor, being a shepherd of so many people, I think the hard one of the hardest and difficult things that comes to me is that when we're trying to teach these types of things to the modern day people, to people nowadays, for example, of how to say, okay, this is good and this is what you're doing is not right, and they think of us as more of a traditionalist in that manner. But we're trying to say this is not really about traditionalism or being progressive. It's more of what is right and what we can do to do good for the other.
What does the Bible say about euthanasia?
Well, there's no distinct, you know, story behind it on euthanasia. In fact, the word euthanasia not even in the Bible. So if you take a look at it, we don't see much of people asking other people to kill them. That's more of the general sense of the term. What euthanasia is assisted suicide. You want to take, for example, you want to take your life away. You have to ask someone else, "Oy, tulungan mo ako, pakamatay na ako." That's assisted suicide versus killing, because the person on the other side thinking, "Oh, you're going to kill this person out of mercy." There's no such thing happening in the Bible. Actually, there's one incident in the Bible. I think I don't know if it's the second book of Samuel, or in the story of David and King Saul. Well, David killed a wounded Saul, and there was this one who criticized him, and King David actually killed him because he knew that deep inside that if this person who criticized him was saying good about, killing a wounded person already, then he would still be alive. Gets mo ba? Parang pinatay ni David yung isang si Haring Saul, and in the process may nag-criticize sa kanya na, "Oy, hindi magandang ginawa mo." In this process too, King David, who succeeded King Saul, had him be put to death because, let's face it, if King David knew that what he was saying was beneficial, was really good, then that person who criticized him could have been alive. That's the only closest thing I can remember about euthanasia or assisted suicide in the Bible.
What does the Bible say about homosexuality?
Well, I cannot right now, since this is an ambush interview. I cannot really give you some parts in the Bible where we can find about where we can find homosexual activities or people in the Bible. Well, they said also in the Old Testament in the Bible that David and Jonathan had a close relationship, like a brother relationship, or more of close brother relationship, like sibling relationship. And Naomi and Ruth also had a close daughter-in-law and mother-in-law relationship, and not more than that. As biblical scholars would fight over that. But St. Paul would name, some things, of course, pertaining lewd acts of sexuality, and one of which would be, a man on a man doing lewd acts together. And in the book of Leviticus, I presume, I believe it's in Leviticus, when in the old laws, it was actually prohibited by the Israelites to actually have both man sleeping with another man, and woman sleeping with another woman too, as well. And that was prohibited, and under the under the penalty of death. So those are the things we can find in about homosexual activities that were done in the Bible, that can be seen in the Bible, in which they were most of the time put out in a negative point of view.
In lieu of our principal, is Cavidad Q. Ramil. I am Mr. Rafi Acosta, the high school coordinator, as well as the religion teacher of this institution, St. Christopher Academy. Thank you for your time in interviewing with us and be with us. I hope you also continue to work hand in hand to be able to bring morality into the higher expectations of our students. That's all. Thank you.
Sir, why should ethics be taught in schools?
In our society, we are bombarded with so many things in life, especially when it comes to violence. The word of digitalization. Ethics is so much needed when it comes to the learning of our students, because our values are now very it weakens our fiber in the society, and that's why we need, really, it is a must for us to inculcate ethics within our learning areas.
Next question, sir. So, why is ethics important as a teacher?
In 13 years as a teacher, when I came here in the diocesan schools, when I studied ethics also in college, it is much needed, because it is the way we discipline our students, and I believe that discipline is and ethics is one of the bridge between discipline, between goals and achievements. You cannot achieve as a teacher in the teaching and learning process without ethics that you need to inculcate among the students.
What is the school's policy regarding bullying?
Bullying is a repeated act. That is why, for us in the diocesan school, particularly in St. Christopher Academy, we empower the child protection policy, which is already a rule not only in our country but in a local policies. That is why the child protection policy is only for student to student, but there is no policy of bullying between children and teacher. That is why we are not allowed to bully our students, but there is already a policy regarding that, bullying, the child protection policy.
If a student stated that a teacher was sexually inappropriate with him or her, what would be the procedure for handling the situation?
Whenever there is an inappropriate handling.
Sexually inappropriate.
Usually, we have our prefect of discipline and the guidance counselor. There's an investigation that will happen between two parties. After the investigation, which is proven or not, it should be done consistently and to the upper authorities, such as if ever there's a case between the teacher and the student, it should be given to the higher authority as well as the principal, then going to the central office, which is our diocesan or chancery office, which is the superintendent.
Is there any support for moral education in these schools today?
In terms of moral education, we have here edukasyon sa pagpapakatao. We have also the core of the curriculum that we inculcate values, which is moral values, which is religious and values education. We taught not only about Jesus Christ, but also the values in morality, values in the life of Jesus Christ, as well as saints and sacraments.
Today, educators are being told that what we should be doing from ecology to drug education. What do you think will happen if we just ignore moral education?
A greater impact when we ignore and we are not consistent in moral education. Why? Because as I said a while ago, it weakens the fiber of the society. It's because of the word of digitalization that we are weakened through the different beliefs and tradition of our millennial right now. They don't really know what is the effect of this moral education to them if they don't experience. That is why we not only strengthen but we inculcate among them the value of religious education as a Catholic student and as a Catholic teacher. We really ignite the fire burning